Hello, everyone. I'm Toastmaster Monica Dixit, and I welcome you all to the Division and Initiative Leadership and Wield. Today, we all will be discussing one of the most exciting and at times daunting roles in the Executive Committee, that of the Vice President Public Relations. I have served as the VPPR for my home club, Nagpur Toastmasters Club, in the past for 2 terms, and I'm currently serving as the Division N Public Relations Manager. Needless to say that the VPPR role is something that is very close to my heart and I have enjoyed the most and also have learned a lot from it. As the VPPR, you are expected to be the eyes and ears and the voice of your club. Our panelists today are all very successful VPPRs. Let me introduce them. Our first panelist today is Toastmaster Yash Banarsi. He's currently serving as the Area Director of Area N1 District 98. He has 4 clubs under him. He's also serving as the president of Gurukul Education Toastmasters Club. He has previously served as the VPPR of his club and has been a Toastmaster for the past 2 years. He has also served as a treasurer before. He is a CIMA student and a freelance graphics designer. For him, Toastmasters is a safe place where we can be ourselves and no one is there to judge you, but to motivate and uplift each other. Toastmaster Yash is also the VPPR elect of his club for the year 2021-22. Our next panelist today is Toastmaster Dipalika Kovar. She is currently serving as the Area Director of Area N3 District 98, where she has 4 clubs under her. As an executive committee member, she is currently serving as the Vice President Public Relations in TCS Nagpur Toastmasters Club. A systems engineer by profession, Toastmaster Dipalika Kovar has been a Toastmaster since January 2018. She was also a part of the Division EFGHPR team. She has also served her club in the office roles of the President and Vice President Public Relations. She has been an active Toastmaster in her club area and division as well. Toastmaster Dipalika is also the Division Director elect Division N for the year 2021-22. Our next panelist is Toastmaster Gunjan Banarsi, who is currently serving as the VPPR of Gurukul Education Toastmasters Club. She has served her club as a treasurer in the past. A management graduate student, she completed her graduation in BBA and did her MBA in HR and marketing. Due to her immense love and passion for the art of doodling and mandala, she has decided to convert her passion into profession and is currently on the path to build her own brand of Guser's creation and doodling hands. She is also the president-elect of her club for the year 2021-22. She has been an active member in the cluster EFGH and PR team and Division N's PQ team. She was also an active member in the designing team of the PR Hand of Eloquence 2021. Our next panelist is Toastmaster Archie. She is currently serving as the Vice President Public Relations of the Raisoni Institute's Brio Toastmasters Club. This is the first time that she has opted for an XCOM role. She opted for the role of VPPR as she wanted to challenge herself with something which was out of her comfort zone. She's an ambivert and loves trying different things, and she believes in experiencing everything once in a lifetime. So, as we move on for the discussion, I had made some observations as the VPPR of my club. Like both the times that I was elected the VPPR, I was the only nominated member. There was no one else who had nominated themselves. I don't know why, but the image that this role carries is that it's demanding, and the members are somewhat daunted to take on this role. So I would like to ask our panelists today that what made them take up this role? What was it that attracted them to this role? Over to you, Toastmaster Yash.
Thank you so much, moderator Toastmaster Monica, for that wonderful question. So I'll start with like first when I was elected in the Vice President Public Relations office. I was not the only one standing for the office. There were three other members who were also standing for the office, and the situation was something like that because I previously showed interest to being the public relations, the vice president public relations, but the post of treasurer was empty, so I took up the role of the treasurer. But somewhere at the back of the mind, I had this key interest in the designing aspect of everything. So took up the VPPR role and moved on. And eventually, I realized that what people see, what when members come up for the role, they only see the visual aspect of Toastmasters as the role of a VPPR. But being the VPPR is not only in for the visual aspect front, is also you are also the brand ambassador of Toastmasters. You are the person who connects the club members to the outside world of Toastmasters. You are the bridge in between. So whenever people see, they only see the designing aspect, the visual aspect, visual guidelines, and so on. But what we have to also see is that the brand aspect of Toastmasters, how we should talk, how we should behave, how we should represent ourselves as a Toastmaster. So if we want to attract more members towards this role, we should educate them. We should build brand awareness in between in within the community of Toastmasters, because people members usually see that brand manual is only for the BPPRs of the club, but it's for all the members. And I would recommend each and everyone who is listening to this right now, go on to the website, read the brand manual. It will guide you how you should be a Toastmaster, what qualities you should possess to be a Toastmaster. And that's why when we build awareness, more and more people will come up to take a role. And in this elections of our club as well, when I saw that there are potential members who can be VPPRs, I educated them in the brand manual front, and there were like 4 to 5 people in the competition of the VPPR role.
That's wonderful. Toastmaster Dipalika, what are your thoughts on this?
Thank you, Toastmaster Monica, for moderating the whole panel discussion. When I started my journey as a VPPR, I started as the shadow for around 3 months and then was elected as the VPPR. There were 3 or 4 people who were there for the same post, and eventually I got elected. After coming to that role, after becoming the office bearer, I realized that it is much more than just designing posters or writing content. It is more about how you communicate with people, how well you express your words, how you present yourself when you are visiting some other club, the image that you carry. As Toastmaster Yash already said, the first line of brand manual says, "Hello, brand ambassadors." I, as a Toastmaster, would say it is not just the VVPRs who should go through the brand manual, but it is the duty of all the Toastmasters to go through it at least once so as to know what should be the qualities or what should be the values one Toastmaster must carry. Their communication should be friendly, it should be universal, it should be easily understandable. Keep it simple. Even if you are not very great at designing, it's okay. If your posters or your write up uh, depicts what actually it means, it's completely fine. And it is okay to be a moderate VPPR. That's from my end.
Toastmaster Gunjan?
Yes, thank you so much, Toastmaster Monica. And so far, how my journey of being BPPR, it was started as being a shadow when Toastmaster Yash was the VPPR of our club. So he thought that I have that potential in me. Obviously, I had an upper hand being an artist, but I frankly want to say that if anyone is an artist, doesn't matter. When you are designing your posters, flyers of Toastmasters is a totally different thing. But yes, styles differ. Style of designing differ. Every VPPR style of designing is different. So that would be different, but it doesn't make any addition to the designing when it comes to the designing of posters of the Toastmasters. And also the brand guidelines at that time was not that rigid. So I thought that I would do it. It would be good. There were a few more colors. Right now we are just limited to 6 of the colors. They were red at that time. So I said that I'll do it. I was in as a shadow BPPR. I was there under Toastmaster Yash for 1.5 months, and then when we take the actual that being a VPPR, we'll serve this and everything. After that, it hit me that as Toastmaster Dipalika said that VPPR is not just making posters. You actually connect with your club members, and how well you connect with the outside, with the non-Toastmasters. You're communicating to them, and it's very necessary, as both the panelists previously said, that you need to educate your club members. Look at it in a simple way, that if you are a employee of a company, so you need to know what are the guidelines of a company. Even if you are manager, even if you are general manager, even if you are a normal employee, you need to know what is the company about. So similarly, you need to know the Toastmasters brand guidelines, because it's a brand, it's a company, it's a non-profit organization after all. So you need to know that certain image needs to be maintained about the company, which you put the suffix in your name, which is TM. So you are a Toastmaster bearing that responsibility with you. So it's necessary to educate each and every club member in the club about this. So yeah.
Toastmaster Archie, how have you begun designing without the color red? We just had a discussion about it once.
Uh, I remember taking up this role. In the starting, I wasn't very inclined to this role, as everybody mentioned that, everyone is afraid of taking up this role because everyone thinks it's tough, it would be time consuming and everything. And same thoughts I had before I took up this role. But I remember my mentor told me that, will you do this? And I cannot say no to anyone, and that is in my nature. I just cannot say no. So I said, okay, I will give it a try. And she said, okay, so you have to design a poster, but there are some constraints which you have to follow. And I was like, okay, constraints, fine. Then she told me these are the 4 colors which you have to work with, in which the yellow cannot be the background. And I was like, yellow cannot be the background. You are saying black cannot be the background. How am I going to design it? And then I asked that, okay, we can do something, right? We can add some colors. She said, no, these are the only colors you have to design with. And that is the thing which, attracted me towards this role, that yes, this one is challenging. Let's take this up. And the question you asked about that, what am I doing without red, is that I'm pushing my limits to that extent that, I do not feel the need of bringing new colors right now, so that I can design the best posters. I can convey what message my clubs wants to send to the public, and that is how I'm managing. And if red comes back, I'll be the most happy person right now, and I can say that for sure. Thank you.
The year 2020 has been a game changer in one way or the other for all of us, something that we never imagined we would be doing. So, and we also moved our meetings online. So how challenging has it been from moving from offline meetings to online meetings? And what are the challenges that you have faced as a VPPR? Toastmaster Yash?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Monica, for this question. So when we were trained as the VPPR in the Toastmaster Leadership Training Program, they mentioned the one thing that visit the clubs because you are the face of your club. Visit other clubs, be the part of their meeting. And I don't say it's a challenge in online, but it's a boon actually, because I was able to visit many of the clubs as a VPPR, spread the word of Toastmasters in the community through online meets. But one of the challenge I would say is that be it a online meet, it becomes really time consuming because people think that it's just a link, click on it, you go and attend. But they don't see that the behind the scene what happens, so much hectic, so much work that goes on behind the scenes. So I would say that it has been a boon as well as a challenge of the online meets. Boon in the sense I was able to visit many of the clubs, and I would like to mention is that when the pandemic started in the year 2020 March, in the month of March and April. So in the month of March and April, I hunt through all the Instagram posts for all the various club meetings, and I attended at least 26 to 27 different country in the Toastmasters fraternity. So that was one of the big advantage, and disadvantage or the challenge is that some of the meetings were at late night in because of the time difference. So at 3 o'clock or 3:15 in the morning, I used to open my laptop and attend to go to some US meet or some European meet. So that was one of the challenge that I faced. Back to you.
Toastmaster Dipalika, what are your thoughts on this?
When the pandemic hit us and we switched on to online mode, being serving as the VPPR for the second time, the bigger challenge for me was to have better themes and more interesting themes so that we can engage people. We all already know that the attention span in the online mode is much more less as compared to the offline mode. So for me, to engage people through the posts, creating that awareness, uh, keeping the brand in place, it was the bigger challenge. And the advantage is obviously we have more number of people attending from various locations. So that is an advantage of it.
Toastmaster Gunjan?
Okay, so shifting from offline to online certainly has many pros and less of the cons for me, because as we shifted online, the one thing which everybody was saying that we want offline meetings. There is that zeal when you go to the stage and speak up and everything. And till the offline meeting was there, my such creative themes was not able to come up. And as soon as we shifted to online, I thought this is my playground. Just put up themes, as many as creative themes as you can think of. I used to discuss it with the TMOD who are taking up roles of TMOD. I used to discuss with them that just do whatever creatively you want to do. Don't think about, we'll stick to the brand guidelines, but whatever you feel that that will connect with the audience, and whatever you feel you doing that you would be happy to do that. So do that. So that was for me, it was like a playground in this online zone. And yes, one challenge was there of the membership drive. When we were doing thinking of the membership drive, how to do it. So as Gurukul being the educational coaching institute, so it was firstly it was a little challenging that how to plan a membership drive in this situation, in this COVID situation. So it made it little easy for us being a coaching institute club. So it was a little easy at that time, but it took a little brainstorming. That's it. There was not as many as challenges. It was much of a fun for me.
Toastmaster Archie?
For me, it was more of a challenge than of having advantages, because as being a college club, our main audience, which we have to focus on, is our college students, fellow students, which we have to focus on. And it is one thing that we can on Instagram or wherever we are posting or on Division N, we do not have our students with us, right? So when the meetings are offline, we are just one word away that yes, Toastmasters meeting is happening in that classroom. You can go and join. And in online meeting, what has to be done is that we have to send the mails, and in college there are certain rules for sending out the mails as well. So for us, it is being a bit of challenging. Or just because of this, because we do not have the students with us right now. But Apart from that, it is one of the biggest advantages, as Toastmaster Yash and Toastmaster Gunjan as well mentioned, that we can go to another clubs, we can join the meetings and everything else. We can have other members from different clubs into a meeting because of this online mode. And that is the biggest advantage I face. Apart from that, it is, I will prefer offline meeting any day. If you tell me that offline or online, offline, any day.
I'm sure we all do our prefer offline meetings. Rather, we are waiting to get back there. But as you know, all creative persons, we need, or rather, we demand creative freedom. But with the TI guidelines, how do you find your creativity within the ambit of those guidelines, considering that the list of don'ts is far longer than the list of do's? Toastmaster Yash?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Monica, for this question. So I would say that it was not a challenge for me because I think in a minimalist manner from the time being. If you see my room, it's also very minimal. If you see my attire, it's also minimal. If you see my phone, it's like minimal. So for me, it was an advantage because I don't have to put so much stuff there on the poster. I just keep it simple, keep it short. Because in the design school, one of the key aspect on the first lecture we learned that stay simple, stay true. Stay simple in the design and stay true to yourself. So that the new brand manual was not like a big challenge for me. Yes, so there was certain constraint with the colors. The red was removed. I like the red actually, CD22C. I like the red very much, and also the ITC Luminal font as well. But they were removed, so what can we say? But still, we stuck to the brand guidelines. We did our part, and these constraints brought out the best in the VVPRs, I must say, because we got to see various designs with being various beautiful design being within the guidelines as well. And if you see our division post, if you see the clubs post from our division, it is very much in within the constraints of the brand manual, and they are so beautiful, I must say. So for me, it was not a challenge, the new brand manual, but for those PVPRs or for those members, it was a challenge. They learned to adapt to it, and because the key point for survival is that improvise, adapt, and overcome. We improvised, we adapted, and we overcame the situation. That's it. Back to you.
Toastmaster Dipalika?
So I always believe that I have often encountered this question: how do we design a poster with a particular theme if we have to stick to the brand guidelines? How do we make it attractive? I believe that theme is not everything for us. For us, the brand values more than the theme. So when we think about the colors and everything, I would say keeping a minimalist approach is obviously an advantage. Play with whatever you have. You have 6 colors. You are not restricted to use the shapes. Use the shapes wherever you want. Play with the fonts. In the new brand manual, which was released this month, gradients are also included. Now you can play with the gradients as well. So I guess with the introduction, because this is an evolution, as Toastmaster Yash said, they are also trying with different patterns and whatever can be done to make things much more beautiful. All the colors have a significance. They relate to some particular values of Toastmasters, and that is why we have them. So keeping a positive approach towards it will definitely help all the people.
Toastmaster Gunjan?
Yes. Thank you, Toastmaster Monica. So for me, as I told that I was a shadow VPPR initially, and when I began my VPPR journey, Yash was there as a mentor. He was my mentor in this VPPR thing. So initially, I used to get a little frustrated, very initially, that this is the theme, and I only have 3 colors with me. Yellow can't be used in a major part. Firstly, I made such poster, and I put it up in the group, and it was not brand compliant. So that came that yellow as an accent color. Okay. Then I did that poster thrice, and the fourth time it was approved. This was my first experience when I made something. So this is the thing that no need to get frustrated. We have limited colors. This Yash told me this, that adapt, improve, improvisation, and what he said just right now, he told me the same thing, that you don't have any option right now. Okay, so you have to adapt and improvise in the same thing. So apna creative dimag, use that and do something, come up with something. So as a Toastmasters, my approach is also minimal, but yes, being an artist, that artist thing pops up sometimes in my VPPR's poster. And I feel that that's not good as a VPPR, because you need to convey certain message to the normal audience as well. And everybody doesn't have that artistic mind that everybody will connect this thing to that thing, then link that thing to that thing. That won't happen. So delivering the message in the most simplest way, this I learned in this 1 year of VPPR, sticking to the guidelines and staying minimal at the same time. So it's just practice, and being patient is the only key. And lucky are those who are VPPR in this coming term, because you have gradients, gray and maroon gradients with you. You have transparency with you. Lucky are those.
Toastmaster Archie.
For me, brand guidelines were challenging, but I made it more challenging for myself because I always make posters in time crunch. I always do that. I take lesser time to make it because I know that I make such posters that would need a lot of time to get approved. I remember we were having Christmas meet, and I made a Christmas tree out of triangles because I thought, okay, it is triangle. I can make Christmas tree out of it. And I remember telling Toastmaster Yash that Division N is using that gift box. Why can't I use the Christmas tree over here? So he told me that that is not a gift box, and your is clearly a figure of Christmas tree. So please, and that is the most challenging part. You know, someone is telling you, you know, you cannot do that, and then you have to remake it and do that again. So that is the one thing which makes me happier, because you know, nobody is telling you what not to do. Everyone is explaining you that it can be done in a better way, and which leads to a better part. So that is one thing which I actually like about brand guidelines. And one thing is that if in case, let's imagine, if we do not have brand manual with us, there will be a palette which will confuse us a lot, that which color should be used and what else should be done. And that would have been a headache for me if I was VPPR without a brand guideline. So that is a torch for me right now. So that is perfect, I believe.
I must tell you all that Division N has been recognized as one of the most brand compliant division. So we have achieved what we wanted to. So when I was the VPPR of my club, there was one instance that the TMOD came up to me and said, Monica, my theme is so lively. So why are we using this dull blue and dull maroon? Why can't we go with pinks and purples? And it took me such a long time to tell her that no, we can't do this. Those are not the brand colors. So has it ever happened with you that the TMOD or a member is not very happy with the way you have designed the flyer? And how did you convince them? Toastmaster Yash?
Yes, thank you so much, Toastmaster Monica, for this question. So it happened twice, I must say. First, it was in the month of February in 2020. Last year in the Feb 2020, one of the member, she had the theme spring or autumn, something like autumn it was. So she said, use black, use maroon, use the autumn colors, use orange, and make it a wonderful poster. I said, no, that can't be done because we have a brand compliant, a brand color to stick to. And she got a bit angry, but then she realized that we have to respect the brand also, since she changed the theme to it's all about February. Second instant was that one of the member, they came up with the theme of vegetarians versus non-vegetarians. Now, how do I convey the message of vegetarian or non-vegetarian. So see, if we can convey of the non-vegetarian of the color red at that time. What about the vegetarians? We should use blue, yellow, maroon. What should I use? So I somehow made the poster, but then it got rejected in the VPPR's group because I used the image of food or clip art of food in that. So clip art of food was not allowed at that point. So I brainstormed and what can I do? What can I do? So I saw that silver, the gray can be used, and I can use gray as the silverware, as the crockery. So I made circles and made for the knife and fork with that, and subtly tried to convey that this meeting is related to food or vegetarian versus non-vegetarians part. And when I posted the poster on the group, the TMOD, he messaged me like, "What is this? Where's the theme?" Like we have to stick to the brand color. So I um sent the brand manager to him, educated him about the brand manager, then he understood and it was well and good. Over to you.
Yeah. Toastmaster Dipalika, has it happened with you also?
Yes, it happens with me as well. So as VPPers, it is also our duty to make our members aware of what the brand is and why are we sticking to these 6 colors. There must be some quality or some hidden meaning of these 6 colors that are present. Black and white are there, it's happy yellow. So whenever you want to highlight something, use yellow and not in the background. It's true maroon. Whenever you so true maroon is basically the integrity value that we follow. Loyal blue is something which includes integrity as well as respect, and it's cool gray. So it actually includes all the IRSC values of Toastmasters if we look into the brand. Another thing that I believe why Toastmasters as a brand is if you see a yellow and a red color, you immediately recognize it with a MasterCard or a McDonald's logo or something. So you quickly understand this. They have only these 2 colors in their logo and they are identified with these colors. Similarly, in Toastmasters, we have 6 colors and we are identified by these colors. As I said, many a times it happened that the Toastmaster of the day doesn't find the theme imbibed into the posters, but as long as your posters and your write-up actually carry out your message, it is completely fine. Even if you can't be much creative in the poster, try to include all the creativity in the write-up. You have no foundation in that. So you can always have all the emojis that are used and it's already circulated on WhatsApp. So you can use the emojis, you can use all the types of fonts that you want. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Toastmaster Gunjan, how did
Yes,
you
yes.
deal with such a situation?
Yes, it had happened with me once, I would say, from when it was a theme in the meeting named as Jungle Safari. So I was thinking that how to show jungle safari. Now we can't use green color, of course. We can't use illustrations, leaves, trees, and nothing can be used. I was just sitting in front of the laptop, blank screen. I was just trying something out. So that poster took me quite a long to get the final flyer. And the second poster was the magic of mindfulness. That flyer I love, that I'm proud of. That I was thinking that how to show mindfulness at the same time sticking to the brand guidelines, how someone can understand mindfulness. So I was just hovering through the Zen things in Pinterest, that what creates this Zen and cool, calm things. So there was patterns. Okay, I can use geometric patterns. So I just literally came up with this poster within 10 minutes, and I'm very proud. So this is the thing. Rather than except these two, I don't think anything was such challenging for me. It is how can you depict the theme of the poster in the minimalist way, but the person who is looking at the poster should immediately understand that. If he's looking the magic of mindfulness, so by that Zen thing, he should understand that it is related to mindfulness. If he is looking at jungle safari, so the background which is going behind jungle safari should tell something camouflaging, something related to something related to triangles basically. If it's celebrating something, to use such colors which shows the celebration, like maroon and yellow. As soon as you see maroon and yellow in a flyer, you immediately connect that there is something celebration going on. And for me, everything pops up on white, so I usually stick to the white background and play with colors over it. So this is my take on it. Over to you, Toastmaster Monica.
Toastmaster Archie.
It happened with me twice. One of the theme was which we were having was the battle, and it was themed like the president and the three VPs will be competing against each other. That which team is the better one, and that was the role. And in that, I remember that a VP had came up with that theme, and he told me that it should be very highlighting that we are having this battle into our club and everyone should join and it should be grand and everything. A poster should be made in such a way. And I was like, okay, I will make it. But I knew that it will cause a lot of problem, because the thing is, you cannot use the sword, you cannot use the soldiers, you cannot use the even human figures, which is made out of geometrical figures as well. So I was very confused, and I knew it would take a lot of time and efforts and everything. What I did there was I made three posters, and I told, which was ridiculously bad, and I knew it was bad, and I showed him that one. See, is this good? And he said, nah. And I made another two out of it, and then again I made the final one, which was supposed to go for approval and on the main thing. Then I showed him the final one, that see, is this okay? And that time he said that yes, that is what I wanted. And I knew if I had showed that very first poster on the first go, he would have said no, make another. So I did that. And another one happened was that we were having a anniversary meet that Brio completed 2 years, and we were having meeting on that account that Brio turned to, and we had that theme only, that Brio turned to. And everyone, not only the president or the excom or anyone else, but everyone in the club, the past members were very much emotionally connected to that meeting, because 2 years is a big thing, right? So we had that we will make this a super cute poster and everyone should know that it is 2 years. And I made the poster, but then again I had that flag emoji, flag kind of clip on that, and it again did not got approved. And then I made the final one. I did the same which I did with the battery one. I made two posters. I showed the first one, I knew they would say no, and then made second one, on which they said yes, this is the good one, go ahead with this. So I do this if I have problems.
My next question to you all is that most of the creative people, almost all of them, they experience a creative block at some point or the other in their lives. So, have you ever experienced a block, like you have your Canva screens open, you know the theme, but you're just not able to put the design onto the Canva? Has it ever happened to you, and how did you overcome it? Any tips to overcome that? Toastmaster Yash.
Sure. Thank you so much for this question. So it did happen with me during the past quite a few times, and also when I used to design poster for my club, and also when doing things and or completing, just I am also a freelance graphic designer, so completing projects in general. Um, Sometimes it happens like you don't get the idea what to do, how to do. So what I do is that I just open YouTube and just turn on my playlist and listen to my playlist, and sometimes it triggers some ideas. Another thing is that there is a website called as FreePick. If you go to this website, just search flies and you will get hundreds of designs. You can take inspiration from that as well. And because if you search minimalist poster, you can take the, inspiration from as well from for the Toastmasters poster, because these posters are basically use shapes and other aspect related to font or related to the text of the poster, so you can anytime take inspiration from that there as well. Another is that, as Toastmaster Gunjan already mentioned, the Pinterest. So you can also go to Pinterest and they have hundreds and hundreds of boards, hundreds and hundreds of pins which you can see and take inspiration from. I personally have a board there called as the Modern Poster Designs. So what I do is that whenever I see a nice poster, a nice minimalist poster or modern poster, which uses shapes and fonts and the use of pictures, like if you have a member poster level completion, you need to put the members post there. So if we have any of that poster, I just pin it and pin it to the board and make my inventory of that. And certainly whatever floats your boat, to have like playlist of songs or just go on a walk, give yourself freedom, and then you can certainly abolish that creative block in your mind. Back to you.
Toastmaster Dipalika.
I guess this is a challenge that everyone faces, be it BPPRs or any other work or any other task that they are doing. We generally face a block. I usually face a block when I am writing something. So my write-ups, sometimes I don't know what to write. If this is a theme, I understood the theme and everything. How do I make it much more attractive? How do people understand what the theme exactly is? If it actually means what I want to say, or does it portray a different meaning? So I focus a lot of time on writing whatever I am. And the second thing is, many a times it happens that we feel that our posters are kind of repeating, or the background is repeating, the colors are repeating, or the shapes are repeating, and we don't know what else to do, what more to do. In these times, what I generally do is I create some patterns, geometric patterns. So I mix and match some of the shapes and I use it either in the corners or in the sides. And it actually gives a different look to the whole poster. So these are the two things that I generally do. Over to you, Monica.
Toastmaster Gunjan.
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster Monica. So I have faced quite a lot of times, not only as a VPPR, I have faced creative block, but also as being an artist, I have faced a creative block. And for me, the best thing what works is going out on a walk in fresh air with a good, strong cup of black coffee. It always works for me. Anytime. If and secondly, what worked this year like a magic, you can say, it was uh, being able to work with the PR team of the cluster as well as in the Eloquence PR team. I actually faced quite a lot of creative blocks while doing that. And I used to sit with my coffee and I used to come up with so many good things which I used to see and I used to say that, wow, I made this. So this has happened with me. For me, a good walk in fresh air and black coffee works. Ideas just keep on popping up, and as Yash also said, that Prepic and Pinterest, just go through ideas, uh, pen it down, note it down, and with a relaxed mind and an open mind, try it out. It will work. So this is
Master
the
Archie, what are your hacks to get over the block?
For me, the most of the one which works all the time is looking at my own designs or looking at others' new design, as the poster which comes into the division group or on Instagram or Facebook. What usually I do is, if I have a block, if I am stuck somewhere, I go to my own page, I look at it, what I have designed, what others have designed. Most of the time, one time it happened that Toastmaster Gunjan share one of a poster into the club, and I was like, okay, this is the nice thing, and I got inspired from that one. So these things really work for me, that looking at older posters and then getting inspired from that, one thing that helps me the most. Second is that putting everything on the blank canvas and then sorting it as a jigsaw, that we do, put every piece on the table and then we sort it out, that this will get there and this will get here. So that's what I do. I put everything, date, time, theme, everything, and then I design on that. Yes, this shape could be used over here, this shape couldn't be possible, transparency would be used. So that is the one thing which really motivates me. And one thing is, there are many a times that we have very random thoughts, very random ideas, and if we have that, one thing is that open your Canva account, put it there. You might not need it in 2 or 3 meetings, but somewhere down the line you will need it, and that will come handy when you do not have anything to put. So I think if you have an idea, just put that on Canva. It will be helpful to you. Thank you. Wait.
Wonderful hacks and tips we have here. So now moving forward to my last question to all of you. What are the learnings that you derived from this role, and also what is the message or any tips that you would want to pass on to your successors? So, I mean, for Toastmaster, Archie, you are still some time away from it, but yet you can answer that as well. So, Toastmaster Yash.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Monica. So one thing I would like to say for the upcoming officers, the VPPR, is that don't get frustrated. We know that it might get difficult sometimes, and it also might get boring to just repeat the colors. But that's the general theme of life. Like everything gets boring at certain point of time. Like freaking 200 years ago, people used to write tongue twisters to not to get bored. So how can like 6 or 7 colors be boring? Just stick to the brand guidelines and go with the flow. Don't get frustrated. If you if the someone rejects your poster, don't get angry. Make another. Show them that I can do better. Because we are leaders here. We are Toastmasters where leaders are made. And the brand promise also says to empower individuals. So if someone is rejecting your poster, someone is making some correction, it's like someone is empowering you. So you can learn from them as well. While you post the posters, while you create the posters, while you design the posters also, you can learn, you can empower yourself at that front as well. So that's just the one thing I would like to say here. Back to you.
Toastmaster Dipalika.
I would like to tell two things. First, keep a pitch ready about your club, about how to join your club and everything. You are the VPPR. As soon as you post, there is a chance that people will reply on your message. How to join this club? I want to attend the meeting. When is the next meeting? How much is the fees? What is the procedure? Have a short pitch of 1 minute or something ready. If possible, take up a call because it's easier to negotiate, or it's easier to make people understand things over a call. The second thing, keep on practicing. Even if you are done with your VPPR's role, and I would say this is the most creative executive committee role that you have, you can be the most experimenting with this role. So keep on practicing everything that you have. If you have a template, it's okay. Design new templates every month if you want to, and that's how you excel in this role. Over to you.
Toastmaster Gunjan, what's going to be your message to your successor?
Yes, so keeping it short, what Toastmaster Dipalika exactly said regarding the non-designing part, that you should be prepared with that. Definitely. Regarding the designing part, I would say, who are the current VPPRs? You should actually search for the successors, because we spend a lot of time with our club members, so we know that much, that this person can take this forward very nicely. So start training them. Ask them to join you when you are designing posters. Explain them the things, like explain them if you want to maintain that same quality. So explain them. And the second most important thing, I would say, that many of the times it had happened with me also initially, that I used to look at the EFGHN clusters poster, some of the Division J's poster, Division E's poster, and I used to feel that their poster is very nice, but don't do that. Don't compare. First of all, don't compare. Every VPPR has their own style. So you can take inspiration, but don't compare your poster with that particular poster. That poster is very good and mine is not. No, you are sticking to brand guidelines. You are delivering the message what you want to deliver. That's more than enough, and it is looking good. That's why it is approved.
How to write, because there are leaders in Division N who will teach you how to make posters, who will tell you, but the least thing which we discuss about is how to write captions and contents for the mail and everything. So that is the one thing, because as VPPR, it will be your duty to send mails to everyone else out in division, or maybe in your firm or office or wherever. So this is the place where you learn how to write contents and everything else. So one thing is learn. on that. Second is that be disciplined about what you're doing. Just as Toastmaster Yas said, that do not get frustrated. That is the main thing. That yes, do not get frustrated. It will come along the line. It will, when you practice, it will come with you, with your powers. So do not do that. And is that talk to as many VPPRs, as many people you can, because these are not people, these are the inspiration, where you get inspiration for the inspiration for the postures, for everything else. So this is the one thing which I practice. I talk to a lot of my friends and everyone so that I can get the inspiration from them. Thank you.
Can I add one more thing to it?
Yes. Please.
I would say to all the upcoming VPPRs, take inspiration from others' poster. Please do not copy. It takes a lot of effort to create posters. So please do not copy everything that they have done. You can mix and match 2 or 3 posters, take inspiration on how they playing with all the colors and fonts and patterns.
True, I second that.
Yeah. I think with this discussion today, we have maybe successfully been able to allay the fears that anyone does have of the VPPR role. And I sincerely hope we have many more members opting for this role and nominating themselves. To me, this is one of the most enriching roles that I have ever performed in the executive committee. So I'm so grateful to all of you to have taken time out and come here for this panel discussion. Thank you so much.